the same thing here on the other side. I know that this looks like a lobster, but the end will look like a crab. So now fold it like this and separate.
Hello everyone, welcome to Learning with Ludwig.
Of Learning with Ludwig. Today I am going to teach you how to fold the object I promised, the origami crab. This is a character in my video, the Heron and the Crab. But if you haven't watched that video, feel free to press the link of that video down below. So I'm going to teach you how to fold this. But before we proceed, remember to click like and subscribe and press that notification bell to get all my notifications. The materials that you need are a 16 centimeter by 16 centimeter square sheet of paper, and to make some of the cuts, you will also need some safety scissors. But remember to be careful. Only cut the paper, not your fingers. So, are you ready? Well, let's go. We need to do is fold it in half diagonally like this. Make sure it is a sharp crease, so crease it with your fingernail. Now you have a crease here. Let us do the same thing for the other side. So let's just take this tip and fold it along like this. Make sure the folds are very exact and crease sharply. Now, when you just redo the fold we did at the beginning and flatten it out, you should see a cross in the center. So now let us turn it over and fold in half horizontally, like this. Make sure the creases are sharp and exact as well, and if you want to get a very beautiful crab, you might as well want to make sure that your paper is straight and exact. So do the same thing for the other side, crease sharply and make sure it's exact. Now fold this part in half diagonally. Now fold this part in half diagonally. So now we are going to make a square base. So you see there are two flaps here, which are the ones we folded. And there's this pocket here in the middle, which you can press into until the very end. And now turn it like this. Now flatten it like this. Now you have the classic square base. But I know that was the easier method, but some people just do it like this. Or when they have the mountain folds, they just do it like this. Okay, so now we're going to make two petal folds. So just make sure it is aligned and goes to the tip like this. And now make sure that it is creased sharply like this. Now make sure it's like this. Now hold this flap that you have just folded and pull it to your left like that. So that is one way of unfolding two flaps. Let's just do the same thing here. The right flap, fold it to the left, and now fold it like this. So now that we have a sharp crease, take it out like this, and now you should see two creases here. So now we need to reverse. So just kind of switch the folds. Just don't do the inside and just make them outside. So now take this triangular flap and fold it down. Make sure that it reaches all the way to these two corners here and crease sharply. So now unfold this flap and unfold these two flaps. So just turn over and let us do the same thing here for this flap. So now let's do the same process we did. But now I'm going to speed up for this moment. Okay, so now that we have done the two folds like this, just fold this flap down like this, and now we are ready to reverse the inside creases like this, and also do the same thing here on the other side. Make sure it's aligned. Now, take them off with this. Now, you should have identical things here, so let's just bend this back and forth. It'll make it more loose. Bend, 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 bend. About 30 times. So now, you should see a triangle here, an upside down triangle, and a triangle here. It also should be the same here, triangle and upside down triangle. So now, take one flap. It doesn't matter what side you are on. This is still the base, and open it up. We still have the same thing. Open this up and fold it on this crease. This is why we made this valley fold here. And now fold it like this. Now the reason we folded these flaps like this was so that when they're mountain folds, and we just place them like this and back, and open up again and fold, this is what happens. These folds will just find their places inside the petal fold. And now this is it. This is the figure you should come up with. It looks like a diamond. So let's do the same process by turning it over. Fold like this. Up. Make this and this. And now make sure that it is like this. Now we have the petal fold. So if you want to see the square, this is how it should be like. And now this is what we should have at the end process. Ta-da! You should have two identical things here. And there's also this fun trick I want to show you. Now that we're in the petal fold, there's this blah 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 blah. There's this mouth figure, and you can open wider. Num 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 num. But okay, let's continue. So now that we have something like this, first, the thing that we need to do is to fold these two flaps down like this. Now, you see this tip here, the top of this diamond? Just fold it down to this crease. Make sure it is still parallel with the crease, and even if it's like that, make a sharp crease. So this crease here is going to be this triangle here. So now that we've done this, gotta take our scissors. Snip, snip. These are safety scissors, okay? I warn you. Ask parental guidance if you want to use scissors, because you might cut your fingers, and it's very ouchy. So, these are safety scissors, and they're safe. So, cut them carefully like this. You don't need to cut this part anymore because there's already a split half. We just need to cut this flap. So now, all the way up till this crease is enough. So let's just fold it like this, all the way to the crease. Sometimes you need to open up the fold so you can reach the end. And now that we have reached the fold, we should have this flap that was stuck together before separated like this. Now that we have this triangular fold here, make sure that take one flap and make sure that this edge is aligned with this edge here, the edge of the triangle. Make sure it's like this. So now this is going to be the arm of the crab. And now let's do the same thing here on the other side. Align it with the edge with the triangle. And perfect. So now that we have something like this, we can now fold these triangles like this. So these are going to be the pinchy pinchers that the crabs have. So now we just need to align them. And now we should have something that looks exactly like this. Now, take Now let's turn over. And we should have something like this. Now, if you find that they aren't exactly aligned, you might want to adjust them and crease them. So this is what the shell should look like. Now let's turn over and we should see this figure. So now that we have this, you want to turn over and we see this flap. So what do we want to do with this flap? So there's this kind of pocket in here that you want to cut. So along this mountain fold here, we use your safety scissors, or your scissors in fact, and cut along the mountain fold all the way to the tip. And let's also do the same thing here on the other side. Let's fold our way all the way like this. Hold on a minute, guys. Just cutting along. Okay, and now that we have this, we should have something that looks like this. Make sure that this is kept folded. Now, open up this flap. So now it'll kind of look like this. Now let's also, you can just leave it like that if you want to, but yeah, I think it's better like this. So now take your scissors and kind of cut these triangles and make sure that it's in the middle as possible. Now we're cutting them like this to make the crab's pinchers, and now that we have cut one in half, you can separate them like this, and now fold it like this so that you'll be able to see the gap between them. Now let's do the same thing here on the other side. I know that this looks like a lobster, but the end will look like a crab. So now fold it like this and separate, I mean. So now that we have these two pinchers ready, we can now fold these like this. Fold them like this. These are going to be the legs. Now, the total ones in here are 4, so you should be able to fold the 4 here. So now that we have done the 4 legs, we can now fold this flap up and now cut the middle like this. Now turn it over. Now what we could just do is to kind of like adjust them so that the legs will kind of go down a little bit more. So that'll add more beauty into the product. So just add like this. And also kind of just align it like this. Also align it. Align it like this. So now that we have this, fold this flap up. And now that we have folded 2 flaps and cut them, we should now be able to separate them by folding ridges around here. Okay, so now let us just fold down like this the excess flap, and also like this. Also fold in like this. So we just want to make the legs a little skinnier, and something like this. Now when you turn over, you should have the final product, a crab. See, this is the shell. This is the shell, the rounded off shell. These are the 4 legs. These are the pinchers, and also you will also find this coming out. These are the crab's mouths. So I kind of just made them short so that it will kind of seem like the crab's mouth is really small. That's because they're crustaceans, and crustaceans really live in shells and stuff. So this is it. This is how to make the origami crab. enjoyed folding your new origami crab pet, clickety-clack-clack, walking on the beach, rolling along. Okay, so crabs are crustaceans and they live in shells. So put some comments down below if you like to eat crabs. But, well, I hope you enjoyed, and please remember to click that like and subscribe button down below. I love you po. Thank you po.